Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Ledwell and this is The Inspiration Show. Today on the show, I'm going to be talking to the author of the best-selling book, Oh Shift. Please help me welcome Jennifer Powers. How are you, Jennifer?
Hello. Thank you. I'm well. Thanks, Natalie.
I am looking forward to getting into our show today because we're going to be talking about how just a shift of perspective, your perspective can actually shift your life.
Yeah.
Which and it's something very simple, but something that a lot of people overlook. But before we get into that, why don't we talk about your story and background and how you got into writing this book?
Wow. Well, to keep a long journey short, I found coaching sort of serendipitously. You know how the universe works, Natalie. It just sort of things find you much more easily than you can find it. And coaching came to me through my speaking. So I decided that I wanted to be a speaker. So I thought, well, how do I do that? And I said, well, I'll just call myself a speaker. I'm motivational. And so I had these business cards made up that said Jennifer Powers, speaker. And so I went on this awesome speaking tour with monster.com, and in that experience came this little earth angel. I don't remember her name, but she was so excited because she had found this awesome thing called coaching, and we all looked at her and we said, what sport? You know, this is back in 2005. And so it was this life coaching, and I thought, oh, that sounds perfect, because I have historically been a self-help guru. I'm sort of like, I only read books that are going to benefit myself. It's like almost obnoxious, but and so I thought, well, that's perfect. I can mix the coaching with the speaking, and it'll all work out. And sure enough, it did. And then I again met another individual who helped me realize that there was a greater audience to serve than just the audiences in front of me or my coaching clients. And he made me recognize that there was a book in me, and there's a book in all of us, right, Natalie? I mean, certainly. And so he helped me come to terms with that I have this voice and this message, and also this real drive to help people figure out that they have more power than they could ever see possible.
Awesome. So tell me about O Shift. So what is the main message that you have in the book?
Yeah. O Shift is about choice. It's about exercising your power of choice. It's about realizing that your personal power is yours and that you get to do with it what you choose. You get to choose your words, which create your reality. You get to choose how you react to things that are going on in your environment, and that creates your reality. You get to choose whether or not you're going to take the victim role or the victor role, right? So it's all about exercising this birthright, which is your power of choice. And when you realize that, and you say, oh, shift with the F instead of without the F, then you can create a domino effect of awesomeness. And it's all within your control.
Right. Because when I think of this, I think of how, a lot of people go, oh, my God, this person at work, they're pushing my buttons. They're, they're really making me upset. But really, that in itself is a choice, because it's not, no one can make you feel anything. You, whether you consciously or unconsciously, choose to feel that. Is that what you cover in the book as well?
Yes. One of the favorite, I think, most quoted parts of the book is a page that all it has on it is, things don't happen to you, for you, or against you. Things just happen. It's how you react to those things that gives you control of your life. And so people don't do things to you. No one's doing anything to you. No one's making you feel a certain way, or it's things that people are just having their life experience, right? And we get to decide to be in acceptance or be in flow with that, or to resist that. And it's when we resist it, when we're saying, oh, shift without the F, we're in resistance. That's what creates the turmoil and the disruption and disharmony, right? And we don't need to experience that.
Right.
It sounds so simple, right?
But the thing is, it can be when you know.
Yeah.
It can be when you know. So tell me some of the perspective shifts that you go through in the book that are very common, that most people are living right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think when we realize that someone, um, for example, a boss, like I tell a story about a boss that I had that was just for me the she devil. You know, I mean, she was the devil of all bosses, and she made my life miserable, right? And I tell this story from that was my true perspective. Like, it was her fault that I was miserable. My hair was falling out. You know, I lost a lot of weight. I mean, my husband was miserable because of it. My dog was miserable. I mean, there was no stopping the misery that this woman was causing. And I think a lot of people fall into that. And what happens is when you realize she wasn't really doing anything to make me miserable. I was choosing to allow her to be, to let me be miserable. Or anything from that to, when we look at ourselves, the way we look at ourselves and through the lens of our own judgment, like our body image. I talk a little bit about that just because it's something I've always struggled with in my life, that, it's how you choose to speak to yourself about yourself. And when I realized the things that I was saying to myself were only creating more of that, right? So if I say to myself, you're fat, then I'm just really calling in more fat. So it's like whatever you say, you attract to you. This is simple law of attraction. But it's interesting, Natalie, how people learn through stories. And I love sharing a lot of that in my book.
So let's talk about this body image thing, because I think a lot of us, me included, go through moments of this. So how do you shift your perspective? So let's just say that you get up in the morning and you're looking at your body, you're just going, oh my God, I need to stop eating cakes. I need to do whatever.
Yeah.
How do you shift your perspective to something that's going to be more empowering?
If I had that in a bottle, I'd be a billionaire. Yeah. So no, I think that there is something very important that a lot of people, they say, oh, just change your words, just tell yourself you're beautiful and you're thin. I think that's a big leap that a lot of people are challenged by. So one thing that I believe is very powerful, and I work with clients on this, is identifying how that belief serves you. Right? What is in it for you to continue to believe that you are fat or see yourself as fat, right? So there's a serving. It's called a secondary gain, right? And I don't pretend to know much more about it than the name, but there's a story of a woman in the book who was carrying an extra 20 pounds around because she felt like that was because she was very beautiful on the outside, right? Her face was very beautiful, and she was afraid that if she was thin and beautiful, that women wouldn't like her, and she was in a very competitive field in banking, and so she felt if she shed the 20 pounds, she would be more approachable. I mean, she would be less approachable, so she kept that weight on, right? There are like a dozen million things or reasons that we keep things around, even if they don't make us happy. They're serving us at some level. So, like, what is it protecting you from? What is it helping you avoid? What is it? How is it serving you? There's a million things that we need to search, and when we find that, we can then sort of lift the covers off of it and be free of it, a little more free.
Yeah. I know when I was battling with weight as well, I used to find that I was very judgmental of other women. Like, I'd look at other women and start picking their bodies apart, but only because it was a reflection of what I was thinking about myself.
Yes.
And so all I was doing is, like, I've got toxic thoughts going out about other people. I've got toxic thoughts about myself. So no wonder I couldn't lose weight.
Yeah.
Because it was like this vicious cycle that was just going around. So it was just like I was keeping it on.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Because your words and your thoughts are energy, right? And you're putting that energy out into the world, so you're just attracting back similar energy to manifest it. It's so true, and I think you're right. The more we are critical of others, it is a reflection of the criticism we have on ourselves. It's so true. So imagine, like, if you could just look at women. I think this is a really great tip and a great point that you bring up. People say, well, it's really hard for me to accept myself. I say, well, what if you just started accepting others first? Like, practicing that acceptance on others. So looking at a woman who might be a few pounds overweight and going, wow, she sure is pretty, or she sure is sweet, or she sure is whatever. And then removing that judgment in your outside, it might become a little bit easier to do it to yourself, when you exercise that muscle,
Yeah, I actually went through a process where it was like I actually wore like a rubber band on my
Yeah.
wrist. And so it would remind me that when I was having like standing in line or doing whatever, having a moment, that I would purposely start to look for good things in other people around me.
Uh,
Whether it was how they had their hair, whether it was how they was speaking to their child, it could have
yeah.
been anything. But I was always looking for the good,
Yeah.
which helped to shift that about other people, and which of course helped to shift it about myself, which
It's
was
true.
which
And
was
I
really
think I think in that though we have to be kind to ourselves because there are things that go on like I don't know whether it's hormonally or environmentally or something that we need to be kind to ourselves if we wake up one day and that's just not the easiest thing to do. Do you know what I mean? So it's not only like not judging others and being looking for the good in others, but being kind to ourselves and non-judgmental when we can't quite climb that mountain one day, you know? Because there's just some days. Have you ever had those days where you're like, I just can't see any good, and
yeah,
that's okay. Tomorrow's
absolutely.
a new day.
I know right now, actually, I'm actually scheduled next week to go in for a knee operation.
Oh,
But of course, it's been very bad for the last, I haven't exercised for the last 4 months, so I'm putting on weight. And I have to really be conscious about, okay, Nat, this is temporary.
yeah,
You're going to get your knee fixed. It's going to be great. I'm already visualizing myself back out running again and doing all those amazing things and keeping that vision so that it's like, okay, this is temporary. Because I have my girlfriends call it the I love you diet, so I actually got into a habit, and I think a lot of what you're talking about with our shifting of our perspective,
yeah,
it's kind of a conscious activity in the beginning, but then it will eventually become unconscious. But
yeah.
I get up every morning, and when I look at myself in the mirror, I say, I love you. And I say it with conviction. I feel love for myself when I get up in the morning.
Mhm.
And that helps to permeate through the rest of my day. So
Yeah.
do you suggest little habits and practices for people in the book as well?
Oh, yeah. First of all, you got to say oh shift because I think that when you wake up in the morning and you're challenged by you want to say oh shift without the F and you know the moments I'm talking about. It's sometimes just saying something like I love you or oh shift out loud to yourself, write it down, whatever. Is very, very powerful because then, you know, what you say affects what you think affects how you feel affects what you do, and what you do affects, of course, the day you're going to have. So saying it is really important. And even if at first you just can't find anything that you love about you know, I said to my husband, we wake up and we're like, okay, are we happy? Like, are we happy right now? Is today going to be a happy day? And sometimes it's like, not so much. I'm not feeling real happy. And it's at that moment where you go, okay, first of all, I don't have to be exuberant. I just have to be like, okay, so let's find something that is good, right? Let's find something that I can love about this moment, whether it be the soft, warm sheets that are enveloping me, you know, or my hair, like, you know, whatever it is, like find something and then allow it to bleed out through the rest of your being.
Yeah, because what we're talking about here is the law of vibration,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
And when we're in a higher vibration, then we are in flow. Everything
Mm,
becomes easier. And
mm,
and there are some times when we're grieving or things have gone bad or something's happened. Sorry about that.
mhm.
And things have happened, and we are in that funk. And and I think it's okay to go through that. There are some things that we really need to move through, but then just do anything. Like if I've had, I know I was grieving not long ago. A friend of mine passed away, and so I would go out walking in the morning until I felt better, and I'd walk out along the beach. And it's something small, but I needed to get from this vibration up to this higher vibration, just doing anything, so
Yes.
that we can actually start to move through the day in a much more powerful way.
It's true. It's true. During my, I went through a very dark time during a depression, during a divorce. I was very depressed, and I remember getting up in the morning and just wanting to cry. And what I would do is, I didn't even know, like, no one told me to do this. It sort of felt like very needed. And so I would look in the mirror, and when you're about to cry, and you could just like let it go, or you could hold it in, whatever. Well, I didn't want to do either of those. I wanted to switch it and I wanted to shift it. And so I said, I just looked in the mirror and I go, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good. It's all good. I'm okay. Right? And it was literally like I would say it at Natalie like maybe I don't know 50 to 100 times until it switched. Like something just clicked. And then I was really okay. I wasn't shoving it down and I wasn't letting it out. I was reprogramming my belief about what I was. It was really powerful.
And back to what you said in the beginning, you were making a choice.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
So true.
Oh, Jennifer, it's been amazing having you here today. I love it when we have like easy breezy conversations like that.
Yeah.
We're so on the same page.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to connect with you or get the book or whatever, where can we send them to do that?
Yes, please visit oshift.com. And the reason I say please is because you get to download OShift for free. You guys, go do this. Yeah, we decided we really want this to be a movement. We want everyone to exercise their power of choice, everyone to choose joy. And if we're going to put our money where our mouth is, we need to give that book away. And so you can get the digital download at oshift.com. And you can find out all the other ways you can join the movement there.
Wonderful. And guys, if you click on the banner either to the side if you're watching this online or below if you're watching this on the app, you'll be able to go straight through to Jennifer's website from there. So thanks again, Jennifer. It was so awesome talking to you today.
Thank you. Talk to you soon, Natalie. Bye.
Thank you. Now, I encourage you to share this video. You can do that by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on this page. And also leave your email if you haven't done so already so I can send you the Manifesting with the Masters video e-course, which is valued at $87, but I'm going to send it to you for free. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.